When did the John McLaughlin thing come up? Was that as soon as you finished Berklee?
Yeah, this was kind of a magical time because I had graduated that week. This was 1987 in the spring, and I wanted to stay in the United States, but I was on a German passport, and student visas run out. Um, and so I went to the bass department and I spoke to Rich Appleman, who at the time was the head of the bass department at Berklee. And I asked him for a teaching job, and he gave me the gig, which was great because that way Berklee would have applied for my H-1 visa,
Yeah.
and I would have been able to continue to stay in the States. And the same week, I got a call from John McLaughlin. And I was like, who is this? And he's like, this is John, And I remember I was like, wow, this John McLaughlin from the Stanley Clarke album? And it's like, oh. And he said, yeah, do you mind if I come by your place? So this was really awkward because he came to my apartment and he just sat there with a glass of water. And he said, why don't you just play your instrument? So the dude is sitting there in the chair right in front of me watching me play. It was the most awkward thing. However, he is the ticket, okay? And this might also be a good lesson for bass players out there. I knew he was coming, so I had a week to prepare. And I literally worked out a couple of bass solos, and I played the crap out of those, like over and over and over again, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And so when John was there, I was so nervous that I literally lost my mind. But because I had played these songs so many times, my body played them anyway. even though my mind was like, oh, John McLaughlin is sitting there. I hope he likes what I do. Oh, what. And then he just picked up this old acoustic guitar and we played a blues. And then he came to a gig that night where I was playing with Bob Moses in town. And then after that gig, he actually helped me carry my equipment to the car. That was so heartwarming, He said to me, he said, Kai, I normally don't do this anymore, but let's get this gear into the car. I know it's hard. So he helped me carry my speaker into the car. And then he walked away that night and he said, this is going to work out very, very well. You'll hear back from me.
Did you
and
know?
Then he did.
Did you know, was the trio formed by then? Did he have somebody else? Because I know that at one point Jeff Berlin did that gig. I don't know whether it was before or after you. Was that trio with Treelock? Was that actual functioning when he came and met you? Or was that something that happened after he'd met you?
The trio was formed before.
Before, so it was before you, yeah.
So if you look at the evolution of John McLaughlin, at one point, he had a duet with Jonas Hellborn.
Yeah, Jonas, yeah.
And after that, he formed the John McLaughlin trio with Trilo Gurtu being the first of the three members and Jeff Berlin being the second one. And then it turned out that John and Jeff didn't get along. They had issues. One of the issues was that Jeff insisted on having his amplifier on stage, and John did not want a bass amp on stage because he was playing acoustic guitar, and the sound of the bass amp would vibrate his guitar in such a way that it bothered him.
Yeah.
So the way he solved that problem was by having everyone go through the monitor system. And so this was one of the issues he had with Jeff Berlin, who was a brilliant musician. He played very well, but it got to a head where John was just he doesn't want to struggle with his own sidemen.
Yeah.
And he called Gary Burton. And Gary Burton was my improv teacher at Berklee. And Gary Burton recommended three bass players. The Baron Brown, Jimmy Earl, and myself. And I was the one who got the first audition. So the other two never got to audition. So Jimmy and Baron, I apologize to you guys, you know, that I may have snatched away a gig of a lifetime, but
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, that's how that came about.